so here is match number 2 on Bud George in the P43 BIS. See how many times I can knock my pop over. Anyway, so we are middle tier, tier 7 match. What I wanted to do is kind of shoot up this road right here. It kind of comes up this way, and I kind of assumed that there was more of a hill on the left side to give you a little bit of protection, but I found out when I got up there it's not. It's mainly just like a row of trees, and so things don't work out for me too very well right off the bat. I start getting pretty wrecked, and then their top tier KV-13 comes down and puts a pretty bad hurting on me, but I put my tail between my legs and get out of there. And you'll notice once again I get a bunch of people up here like you would think, like you see them coming up here and you're like, oh goody, I got support. Do you think they move forward? No, because they're too stupid to. They just take up positions and just sit there and do nothing. So basically I come up here and I pretty much start getting butt raped, and I have nobody helping me. See, look, just sit there, don't push forward. That's pretty much the meta of World of Tanks I'm finding, is you get a bunch of dumb assholes that just sit back and do nothing to help you. They're out for nothing but just helping themselves, and they will sit there and watch you get literally tore up and shot up and then dead, and then they'll move forward because they're forced to. And they'll be in positions where they can take shots, but they won't even pop out and help by taking a shot. And look at, I mean, just to pause this, look at these clowns. I mean, there's just a whole group of them right there that are absolutely shooting at nothing. Nothing to shoot at. So they just sit there. So I start backing up because I see that KV-13 coming, and the KV-13 is easily going to pen me. He's going to out DPM me. It's just not going to look good. And so I start backing up, and this is the first time I've actually gone this way. And then I look to my left, and there was a leopard right over there, and he starts putting rounds into me too, I believe, here in a minute. So the first shot we get misses, and I'm shooting all APCR on this because, yeah, there's a T-67 that's starting to shoot me. They just took another shot. This leopard's popping rounds into me, and you can see, you know, typical gold rounds in a low tier match, of course, because I'm even shooting gold in this one because the standard rounds in this just suck. 140. Yeah, I'm not gonna have pretty much a hellacious time trying to go through anything with 140 pen, especially at like KV-13. That thing's actually got really good armor. What else do they have up there? P43 TER, which is the tier 7 one up from this. T43's got decent armor. OI, the EZ8 got good armor. Just everything they had really pretty darn good armor. So I'm like, screw it, you know, if these guys are going to do that, not help, and they're not, you know, they're just going to sit there, I'm going to go back. I'm almost, you know, down to 261 health now. I'm like, screw it, I'm going to go over here and just snipe. You know, typically I don't do that, but, you know, with the health that I have left, I'm like, it's about really all I can do. And a lot of stuff just came right up through here, uncontested, because none of our heavies went there. You know, our Comet went up there, and he's coming back down. It was like they stayed in this little group right there and did absolutely nothing. And we've already lost 3, and they've lost none. So I thought, the heck with it, I'm just coming up here, and I'm going to snipe like a little biatch. I really didn't care what anybody said or thought. I think we ended up losing this match anyways. It gets down to, actually, I think I'm the last person on the team, too. You know, that's one thing you'll learn pretty quick when you're playing World of Tanks. When you push up like that, if you get tore up, you know, you need to, yeah, we were able to knock him out. That got him, and I see this other P43, and I decided to shoot and miss, but it scared him because he took a quick stop, and he's aiming in on me. Actually, I think it might have been aiming at somebody else, but he's coming down the hill there, so. But yeah, you'll learn real quick that there's certain times when stuff like that happens, you don't really have a choice. If you stay out there and try and go head on with, you know, the enemy tanks, you're just going to end up dead. You're better off popping in the back and just sniping, and, you know, it ended up working out for me. I ended up doing, I think I ended up doing the most damage. I think. Don't quote me. but I think. But yeah, so when you don't have support of your team, sometimes really you're just kind of screwed and you don't have a choice but to fall back and just snipe. And I'm not the type to like doing it, but you know, I'm not going to sit here and just get completely obliterated with 0 damage, and that's kind of what was going on. So we hit that archer for 213 and catch him on fire and finish him off. And then I see this T-43 here, and you know, he's obviously a higher tier than me, but I figure I'm gonna at least try helping the artillery. Most people would have been like, ah, screw him, you know, he's on his own, but I try, you know, do the best I can. We slide down in there, which doesn't work out too well for me, and I'm down to 83 hit points, but we're able to take him out. So we got 3 kills, and the problem I run into is this is like trying to go up a slimy wall. I couldn't get up the darn thing. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I got artillery shooting at me, and thank goodness it's, you know, not a high caliber artillery, or his splashes would have finished me off, because I only got 83 hit points. So I figure I'm going to try backing up the darn thing. And we actually get up there and squeak out of there. It's down to just me. The rest of the team is dead. And I end up getting taken out by artillery. So we had 1,802 damage, but mainly pretty much just sniping. Our team just literally melted and just, yeah, didn't work out for the best. And, you know, that's a prime example of what happens when you don't back up your team and you just set back and snipe, and that's what happened up there. If these guys would have pushed with me or backed me up, we probably would have been able to take this match and win, but they didn't. They just all set back and sniped, so like I said, you know, I got down to 200 some hit points. I'm not going to sit up there and try and, you know, duke it out with, you know, 8 different enemy tanks that all have, you know, guns that can take me out in one shot. And this thing does not have the best of armor, you know, when you're not top tier. So, well, so I just backed off, did some sniping, and actually was able to do, you know, 1,802 damage. So I did over my hit points and damage, which is good. Ended up getting a decent WN8 out of the match, but you know, unfortunately it was a loss. But yeah, if you want to hold on for a minute, I don't have any post-game stats for this replay, but I just wanted to kind of show you what happens when you don't get the support of your team. You know, kind of how fast you can get melted, and kind of what to do. You know, when that happens, basically your team is just worthless. Fall back, just get hit points for yourself, or I mean damage for yourself, snipe, do what you can to at least come out of the end result is at least a decent WN8 for yourself, because obviously you're going to lose, so you might as well at least have decent overall results to walk away with. So, but yep, so if you want to hold on for a minute, it will have another replay for you, and that one I will have the post-game stats for, and that's actually going to be the first replay. I just did this one first because I didn't have the results for it, and just kind of want to just show you this one, so I'll be back in just a minute. Alrighty, and so here we are in Marivanka with the P-43 BIS, and this is actually the first match I had in it. Like I said, I showed you the first match right off the bat there. It was actually the second one that I did. The replay I showed first was actually the second replay. Just kind of showing you what happens, kind of what to do if your team doesn't, you know, support you at all, doesn't back you up. You know, you got to know to, you know, just disengage, fall back, and try and do what you can for damage by sniping when you get down to where you're a one-shot, because you're not going to do anybody any good when your gun gets knocked out of the game. You know, if I would have stayed up there and tried pushing, I would have been knocked out and wouldn't have done pretty much any damage. So, anyway, so this time we are top tier, and I'm going to roll over to the, oh, well, that's kind of, oh, that's the, I was like, what the heck is that? I'm sorry. Because I saw PZT-25, I'm like, what tank is that? But I've got that one. That's that little auto loader, so. But anyway, so we're going to roll over on the water side over here and just try and, you know, we're top tier, so you can kind of, you can probably use, it's got all right armor, you know, when you're going against tier 5s. The problem you run into is if they start slinging, you know, premium rounds, it is going to probably go through you, so you got to, you just don't want to over engage and get yourself into a position where you can't get out of there quick enough. And so we're on the east side of the map, and there's all two of us, me and the PZ25T, and we've got, once again, all our campers back here. Yep, see in there, that T67, that's got actually pretty darn good pen, but he put it right through the front of this, I believe. Let's see. Oh, he actually put it right here, right through the turret. These actually have pretty decent turrets too. I'm kind of surprised he was able to go through there. The nice thing is he's got 300 some hit points. I just hit him for 243, so he's pretty much one more shot and he's dead. And there's another one of them. So we shrink all the way in, hit him for 226, and now one more shot and he's dead. So two of their nice sniping tank destroyers. One just got knocked out, and now this Excelsior is one of their best players on their team. I switch over to premium rounds just because I know the Excelsior's got really good frontal armor for one, and two, because I wanted him gone, because if you look at their lineup, once he's gone, they've got two other decent players, but he's their best player, and he's going to be the one, if anybody, that can cause a big headache and, you know, change the tide of a battle. So when he pops up here, you can see he's going right through this, no problem. I mean, this is the armor on this is nothing, you know, to write home about. It's okay. Like that time I bounced around off the turret, I believe. Let's take a peek. Oh nope, they just skimmed across the top right there. That's what I like about this mod, because the color mod, I would have never seen that. So the Excelsior is now gone. And then now we're going to start working on these other guys. Yeah, Cromwell's got alright armor, but standard rounds will go through it pretty good. Oh wait, no, I was worried about the Churchill 3 as I kill the dirt. But we switch over to standard rounds. I figured, well, you know, I should be able to pen him okay with 140. And we are. We're putting him right through him. That thing fires so fast, you got to be careful to get in, get your shot off, and get out of there. So we're up to 2 kills and 1,704 damage, and I feel like I'm pretty confident that I can go ahead and push. Now the problem you run into is like these Cromwells. This has actually got a decent, it looks like decent stats on paper, but it seems kind of sluggish. So the power to weight ratio I don't think is as high as it could be a lot higher. And then the T67 back there hits me and he gets taken out, but he only had 124. Wait, no, what do we have left? Yeah, he was one of them that I hit. He must have, I don't know how much, he didn't have that much health left. But anyway, so we're going to go up here and try and help this SU-85 get rid of this Cromwell. He's kind of circling around this house. And if I get he just got hit once, but then I got this clown here that decides he wants to go ahead and come up here and finally get involved in the match and try stealing the kill. And so he's over here ramming into me, which I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. He sits back and does nothing, then he wants to come up here when the damage is done and there's not many tanks left, and all of a sudden he wants to become part of the team. That's the players I love the most, and they ram into you and try and push you and slow you down to get around you to steal one of the kills that you just worked for. It's like, geez. But anyways, I can see that they've got several over this way, heading kind of towards our cap, and we've got a heavy and a medium, and that SU-100Y is AFK, so that was kind of nice. Got a little bit of free damage there, but we're up to 2,051 damage, and we got 3 kills. But I'm just heading back basically towards the cap to try helping them. But that FB304 pops out, so I think to myself, why don't we try and get a little bit of free damage here? But he's on the other side of the hill. It looks like these guys, this PZ4H is actually handling himself pretty good, because he's got like probably probably about 3 tanks right there, and plus artillery's flying through there. Yeah, I took a shot on the move, but unfortunately, not a chance in hell was I going to hit. But they're down to, what do they have? That TOG 2, a T-34-85, and artillery, and, oh yeah, I come up against something here in a minute. Another great shot on my part. That darn thing moves so fast I didn't get loaded in time to hit him again. But I looked to my left and there's a Matilda. Matilda Black Prince. You don't really get a whole lot of rounds with this thing. He's able to go right through our front, but he's shooting gold anyways. But, you know, he's the bottom tier in the Black Prince there, isn't it? Not sure where we at here. Matilda Black Prince. Yeah, he's a tier 5. Yeah, I don't blame him. I'd have probably been shooting gold too. But all I got left's to talk. Just as I come over to take a shot at him, he gets taken out. So, but, you know, that's the difference when you're top tier and your team actually kind of supports you and goes with you. At first, I didn't think it was going to happen as we moved over on the east side over here. But they, you know, finally the mediums and a couple of the heavies caught up and started pushing with us. Came around here, basically pinched them. We had guys on cap, and you know, these guys stayed here, and I came back around here in case they started getting on our cap. And we had PC4H, I think it was over here, that was holding them off and doing a really good job. So, you know, that's the difference between when your team works and actually pushes versus setting back, sniping, and just, you know, getting hit points for themselves and worrying about themselves. Like I said, normally I don't do that, but in that last match, you know, I was a one-shot, and I wanted to at least try and get some damage, and it worked out the best that I did fall back because I was able to get a couple kills, get a decent amount of damage, and end up getting knocked out anyways. But, yeah, if you're working towards this, I would say the gun is pretty darn good. If you're top tier, standard rounds they'll do the job. It's I believe it's 140 penetration for the standard, and the premium bumps you up to, I believe it was like 180 or 185. So I can't remember what the HE is. I think it's 40, 45. It's nothing. Yeah, it might be actually lower than that. But the gun handling on it's pretty good. It's weird because it says the top speed's like 50 kilometers an hour, but it just the power to weight must not be super good because it seems like it just seems sluggish to me. The speed, you know, your speed heading once you hit a hill, it really slows you down. Even on straightaways, you just it doesn't seem to have that oomph, you know, for a medium tank. So. I mean, it's all right, but, you know, you saw that I bounced, what, one round? Most everything went right through me with standard rounds, but, and that was being top tier, you know, so, like I said, nothing super special, but it's have a really good gun. Gun handling is all right, but it's kind of iffy. If you're working up this line, it's an all right tank to grind. I think this is kind of where it starts getting to be a little bit better. As you go up this line. So, but yeah, anyways, if you want to hold on for a minute, I'll have some post-game stats for you, so hold on, I'll be right back. Alrighty, so here's the results of that match. It was a Master Badge Class 1, and we got a Fire for Effect, a Fighter, a Duelist, a Hand of God, a High Caliber, 1 Bond, and we got a WN8 for that match of 7,462. And we ended up doing 2,086 damage. And a Tog, I was just about to shoot him at the end and hopefully finish him off. I got some spotting damage for him. Woohoo! Cromwell, we hit him 2 times, finished him off for 344. SU-100Y, we hit him for 242. I think he was sitting on his base. Looked like he was AFK. Churchill 3, we hit him 2 times for 349, finished him off. The Excelsior, we hit him 3 times for 647. Finished him off, bounced one of his rounds, spotted him originally. The Matilda Black Prince, we hit him once for 35, finished him off. The PZ4H, we spotted him, he got hit for 116 damage. One of they had 3 T67s. One of them we hit for 266 and knocked out his gun. The other one we just spotted. The other one we spotted and he got hit for 89 upon us spotting him, and I hit him for 243 damage. So we did the most damage at 2,086 with 4 kills, base experience of 971. And we had 16 shots, 11 hit, 11 penned, 2,086 damage from a distance of more than 300 meters, 242. We got hit 6 times, 5 of them penned. We did bounce 1 round for 110 damage. Let's see, we spotted 3, damaged 7, destroyed 4. Damage with our assistance was 218. We did lose, excuse me, 12,000 credits because they had one player on their team, and it was a guy in the Excelsior. Super Unicom. Excelsior does have really good frontal armor. I've got one, and it does. It's got a very fast-firing gun, and the premium rounds have pretty good penetration. The standard round, not so well, but it still go through. This has got pretty pitiful, and we'll go over it real quick. It's only got 80 frontal armor on this, so nothing to, get so too excited about. But with a Super Unicom and something that's got a fast-firing gun and pretty darn good armor, I wasn't playing around, so I shot premium rounds, but pretty much specifically at just him, and then I loaded the standard rounds again afterwards. I think actually I did shoot a premium round right off the bat, and I might have shot one premium round at something else, but yeah, then I pulled up his account stats, and he is completely a reroll. He's got like 230 or 40 some matches. He's got all tier 4 and 5 tanks, a couple premium tanks, and it's basically he's trying to do a reroll account to give him like super good stats, and well, he screwed himself because, being that I saw that he's a super good player, I wanted him knocked out so he didn't just rip our team apart, because most everybody on our team, well, both teams were cherries. So I shot straight premium rounds at him and finished him off. He ended up only doing like 219 damage, I think it was. 214. So that's what I'm saying. When you see a Super Unicom like that, even the people like myself that are Unicoms, or anybody else, you want those people taken out of the match as quick as possible, because they can make a huge impact on whether or not your team does good and wins. If he's a Super Unicom and he's got a bunch of cherry players on the enemy team, my team that is, then he's going to be able to just mow right through them. He knows how to angle his armor. He knows where to shoot, where to go. He knows bushes to hide. So you want those people gone, and that's why I saw him, and I strictly went after him, and I used premium rounds to knock him out, just so he was out of the match. But anyways, so yeah, this is the T43 BIS, whatever you want to call it. It is a tier 6. We'll go over the gun real quick. It's nothing special other than the alpha is pretty good for a tier 6. It reminds me a lot of the VK30.01P, except for the speed. This is pretty slow. I wasn't very... As a matter of fact, I do want to make sure I did upgrade the engine. Yeah, I did. It's fully upgraded. At first I thought maybe I didn't upgrade the engine. Hitting hills and just, even on straightaways, it was like kind of dragging. The gun is pretty good. 8 rounds a minute, 140 standard pen, 180 premium. If you're top tier like this, 140 pen is pretty good. You're going to be able to go through most everything. But like with the Excelsior, it does have substantially good frontal armor. I've got one, my son's got one, and we both like playing it because you bounce a lot of rounds that you would think would pen you. Oops. The nice thing, so your pen is 140 standard, 180 premium. You get APCR for your premium, which is nice, and 45 for your HE, which for a tier 6, 45 pen and an HE is actually pretty good, considering if you stop and think about it, you got tier 10 artilleries that their HE penetration is 50 and 45. It's about the same. Well, obviously shell's not going to drop on their roof in this, but still, not bad for a tier 6. It's got nice alpha at 240 for, a tier 6. That's a pretty good chunk of somebody's health when you hit them. Especially if you're knocking, hitting a tier 5. Yeah, you hit him for 240, that's half his health usually. Like those T67s. One hit on this and 3/4 of his health is gone. But 320 is your HE. I might try some HE shells next time I play this just to see how well it really does. We're going to go off my numbers, not the stock numbers. I've got a crew 100%, it's a brand new crew, and that one battle bumped them up to 24% on their first crew skill. Let's see. So my rate of fire is 9.27 rounds a minute. Reload is 6.47 seconds. Not too shabby. Turret traverse is 41.72, which is really good, and the traverse speed of the hull is pretty good at 43.81, so it's actually, it'll spin pretty good. Still got to watch out for your fast movers, but for the most part, not bad at all. Now with the big gun, you get only 7 degrees of gun depression and 20 of elevation. If you have the smaller gun, you get -8, but you go from 240 alpha to 110. Yeah, and I would much rather do 240 damage and lose 1 degree of gun depression than 110, and Yeah, when you're hitting somebody for 240, you're wiping them out a whole lot quicker. Aim time is a little bit slow. I did go with gun rammer, coated optics, and normally I go with I went with enhanced gun lane drive. Normally I go with the vertical stabilizers, but this the way I look at it, the tanks that are slower, your vertical stabilizers aren't going to make a huge difference, because if you're going fast and you know that reticle's going to be this big with the verticals, get over here in the camera, this big with the vertical stabilizers, what that does is keeps it shrunk down as you're moving. Then as soon as you stop, it goes, so it keeps it shrunk down 20%. Now in a slower tank, your reticle's already going to be shrunk down because you're not boogieing across the field doing 50 kilometers an hour. So I go with this because once the enhanced gun lane drive, so once I come to a stop, it's already shrunk down kind of small because you're not moving fast. Then it shrinks in faster because of the enhanced gun lane drive. Your aiming speed is 10% faster because of that. Dispersion is really not that good at 0.38, so you really got to let it shrink in. Couple shots I took there, I didn't let it shrink all the way in, and the round went like up to frickin' space. We weren't even close to where I was shooting. Average damage for a tier 6 is pretty good at 2225. You get 740 hit points, so you really got to watch getting hit because you can get tore up pretty darn quick. The armor for the hull and turret is the same all the way around. It's 80 on the turret and hull in the front, 50 on the turret and hull on the side, and 50 in the rear on the turret and hull. So it's not, I mean, for smaller tier 4s, if you angle, you might get some bounces, but for the most part, pretty much, you know, it's, I don't want to say paper armor, but pretty much it's not going to have much of any problems going through this turret. And it's got that commander's hatch right there that kind of sticks up. If they get close enough to you, that'll be a pretty easy shot to hit, and I imagine that's probably like going through butter. Our weight limit is 33.5 tons, so it's, well, this is a medium, right? Let me go to tier 6. I'm pretty sure it's a medium. My son just informed me that it is, but I just want to make 100% sure. Yes, it is a medium. So yeah, for medium, that's kind of a little on the heavy side for, well, I don't know, it's kind of smaller in size, so I guess maybe that is kind of pretty much right in the middle. Engine power is 520 horsepower. Specific power, I don't know, man. It says it's 15.52, but to me it just seemed really sluggish. It says top speed is 50 in forward, 20 in reverse, but I just didn't seem like it was going that fast. Maybe my mind's working in slow motion today. I'll really have to pay attention during the actual replay part of it. Concealment's actually really good for this medium, 18.45 sitting still, and 14.59 on the move. That's actually pretty high for medium. Spotting range is 399, and that is with coated optics. Without it, it was like 309. It was pretty bad. Yeah, so if you want to be able to see anything further than the front of your face, or basically the front of the gun there, you're probably going to want to stick coated optics on there. I wouldn't really suggest sniping with this tank, because just with that 3.8 dispersion, that's not very good. I did not use food, and I didn't use vents. Both those would bring that down a little bit. But you're looking at the most maybe 0.36, which is still pretty high, so I don't think this is really going to be good for sniping. You're more of a close to mid-range you know, support in this tank. And your signal range is pretty stuck at 525. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please click the like button down below and subscribe to the channel. Suggestion wise on getting this tank, I like it for a tier 6. It's got some pretty good alpha. I mean, I would suggest getting it if you're working towards it. It seemed to play all right. I mean, I think every round that hit me, I'm pretty sure every round that hit me. No, I bounced, I believe, one round. Let's look. Forgot to kind of look at that. Yeah, so I bounced one round, and it was for 110. So either was a tier 4, or it could have been a tier, excuse me, a tier 5, or a tier 6 with a stock gun, maybe. I don't know. I think it was the Unicom there that shot and bounced off me, and the Excelsior. I'm pretty sure it was, but Yeah, so yeah, it's not a bad tank. I mean, I would suggest getting it. It's pretty good. Nothing special, nothing fancy, but gets the job done. Does it pretty good. The thing I do really like is the 240 Alpha in a Tier 6 is really nice. I mean, you can basically two-shot most. You can, yeah, basically two-shot most Tier 5s. Tier 6s, you know, 3 shots, maybe 4, and you can go through them. So yeah, it's definitely. And if you get up into Tier 8, you're going to have to probably sling a lot of premium to get you up to the 180 mark, which that's still really struggling to go through a Tier 8. But you're still hitting them for 240 Alpha, so you're making a difference versus, you know, pinging them out, you know, hitting them for 75 or, you know, 110. So yeah, that bigger Alpha is nice. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please click the like button down below and subscribe to the channel. You guys take it easy, be safe, and I will see you on the battlefield.